Transport Committee meeting. Before we start, please be advised that this council meeting, Committee of Council meeting is being recorded and live streamed. By speaking at this meeting, you agree to being recorded and live streamed. Please ensure that if going to speak, you are respectful of others and use appropriate language at all times. One council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this meeting. The recording of this meeting will be made publicly available on Council's website. The first thing on the agenda is the application for leave of absence.
Mayor,
Oh, the mayor, that's
The
right.
mayor
he's in next
Yeah,
door.
he's next door, yeah.
And the G.
and the GM. The mayor and the GM. Okay, mover and second.
I'll move that.
Councillor Austin, Councillor. So apologies has been accepted.
Yep.
Yep.
So item 2 is declarations of interest. Any interest to be noted?
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
No.
So we need a mover and seconder for that? Yeah.
I guess so.
Councillor Batten and Councillor Fulk. Declarations of political donations.
I wish.
Any political donations?
No,
Nothing
nothing.
there.
Pauline hasn't got any other yet.
So Councillor Paul and Councillor Rawson for this one?
Yes, yes.
So item 4 is a status update, the activities. So, information and report. Leader, thank you.
Yeah, through the chair. It's always good to get do a report in the start of the new financial year. They can look back and report on progress for the last financial year. While everything's positive, I've only got one negative in here, but anyway, we'll get to that one.
Okay.
Regional Road Emergency Road Repair Fund for roof drainage works. Works have been completed. Heavy patching on Davies Plains, Victoria Road, Offner Road, drainage and culverts. Bowen Park Road, heavy patching. Square Road is drainage and culverts, and we replaced the 3 old concrete causeways on Billabilla Lake and at Canal Road. Item 2 there is the roads recovery program last year. Our gravel resheeting works were completed in the south area on Randall Street, Cable Street, McCarty's Creek, Waterhole Creek, College Street and Jack Sleep Road. North area, back Saliards Road, Dungle Road, Goodridge Road, Gullendale Road, Hedge Road, Thomas Road. And the east area, Bulbous Road, Watts Road, Underwood Road, Horble Road, Long Point Road. When I talk about the program for 26-27 on gravel road resheeting, I'll elaborate on a couple of them. Gullendale Road there was the last one we completed. We did that in about March. I think you had issues there with the dry weather trying to get the water up to it. But in the end, we got a bit of rain and had water close by, so anyway,
It's handy.
got to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm not even sure where Gullendale Road is.
Way up that
Way
direction.
up that and your way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good. Yellow Box Road is the only works job that we haven't had much progress on due to the wet weather. We was programmed to start in March. However, due to some issues there, we haven't got around to doing much. We have done the culvert work. We've extended a big culvert there just past the stockpile site. The boys are out there today looking at getting commencement, which was supposed to be yesterday. And again, it's looking still a little bit wet. I'm not sure whether they're actually going to get into it this week, but the intent will be as soon as we get an opportunity there to start work on that. Because I have got the final asphalt works program for early August, so that's our intent of getting the road works done. There's pavement widenings to be done there as part of M Milling's DA application there, basically from Carlisle Street to Deaderang Street. We have to widen on their side there, which is going to mean a fair bit of cut out of the pavement and build it up. We're doing that as private works for MSM Milling. Part of the intersection works where we're going to tie in with Deaderang and Carlisle Street. Although I'm saying that MSM Milling only wishes to go to the boundary with the works at this stage, so we will finish basically at the boundary lines and then taper into their roads, but following land acquisitions, when they progress on and those internal roads will become part of NS anyway, for them to look after. So, yeah, so,
Market, is that not through yet?
which is that?
The roads are theirs now.
It's progressing through, yeah,
Oh.
they've accepted it, and things are just because we had contact from the surveying mob yesterday, just wanting to clarify a couple of things, so it's a fair long process to move through things and get boundaries, surveys done and all that sort of thing, and then the legal stuff, so it's progressing. So, but they've made a commitment that they wish to move forward with it, so it's all tick box, it's just a matter of formalising. We have made contact with other local companies around there on the other side, with that industrial estate in there, the buildings, which we're going to be doing works there. Probably going to be complicated with trucks in and out of the growing sites. And, yeah, so. Anyway, once we get into it, good.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. So all this new work is going to then have a whole pile of trucks and activity over the top of it when the new construction goes into there. So is there any sort of provision for repair of that road after all of that happens?
Our intent in the construction is to build up a strong pavement and get it all tested appropriately to meet standards. And then we're looking at putting about 150 mil AC over the top of it, up to the intersection. So basically from the railway line out to Carlisle Street. So that will be, should be able to stand up to all the trucks.
To any of that truck.
Through you, Madam Chair, so when you say that, what load weights are you going to, load bearing weights are you going to put it to, like 64 tonne or higher, or what?
It was designed to those sort of heavy vehicle movement sheds, pavement designs types. And it's sort of, those pavement designs mean that you've got to go down fairly deep and build it up from 400 deep, I think it was, 500 to build it up, and then we put AC over the top of that sort of layer to help us improve the pavement underneath.
It's going to be hard, isn't it, with all the trucks that are coming in and out and traffic
Yeah.
in that little area? It's going to be hard.
Yeah. Will it work somehow?
It's sort of limited by the fact that they've got to go across the railway line at that point. There's only that one point, isn't there, to get across the railway line?
There's two.
You can go further up, yeah. So at some stage there will be some the rail line works will mean that they won't be able to cross that. The intent is close to the railway line, we're going to mill that out with, get the contractor in and mill it out and put AC straight back in. So theoretically we might only be perhaps an overnight closure to do up to the railway line, because then we also have to get UGL spotters there on site while we're working close to the railway line. So we thought that was the best option, in and out quick, because otherwise if we've got our machines backwards and forwards, we might need railway spotters there for 2 or 3 weeks. So mill it out, the AC back in, and there we go. So we have floated the idea with the contractor to do that overnight.
So with trucks, trucks coming from Parks, likely to take the shortcut, right? What are we going to do about that road breaking up?
If we can time it for a short period, if it can be done overnight, then the only that time frame that have to be due.
I know after you've done the work, there's going to be an issue there. That's a great little shortcut from the Parks Road, instead of coming up to Yellow Box and turning right, hard right. It's going to be much easier for them to take that shortcut along that road, following the railway line. The earlier crossing, you know what I'm talking about.
Over on street.
Yeah, that's it, over on street.
Maybe we have to.
It's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it breaks up all the time. Yeah. They do use it now.
Yeah.
Well, potentially we can monitor that. Maybe we've got to put a weight.
It's a good way of getting around. I've got to say, that I've done. I mean, come back from Marlene's direction. If the train blocking the railway line, you duck up there and back around.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Just a bit dangerous.
Including trucks and dunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow the triax up there, and he knew about it, so he ducked up there and come back down.
Yeah.
While the other fellow was sitting in front of him at the railway line.
That's right. Yeah, it should be part of it really. But anyway, it's a bit dangerous.
Good gravel roads probably, you know, what we really need, isn't it? Just
Oh,
really good.
Peter, please, the dust is bad enough.
A good gravel road doesn't give you much dust though.
Oh, mate, there's dust in. Can't even see manure sometimes with the dust, so. Don't need any more dirt, thank you.
Fair enough.
Next one was Richmond Road Resealing Program. We had $1.2 million last year that we done reseals on sections of Yellow Box, Baldry, Spring Hill, Garra, Gumble Road, Belgravia, Iceland and Borenall Roads. That includes line marking, etc. after they're done.
Which reminds me, sorry, just where you did that reseeding on Borenall Road, on one of the right angle bends, there was a sign just there. I think it might even just be one of those sort of arrow signs or whatever, which had fallen down in the past and had been repaired, and I think I saw it down on the ground again. Just when I came back from Yeovil the other day, Friday, so I think there might be another. It's just a sign on the bend, so I think it's down.
Borenall Road.
Borenall Road, just where you've done this resheeting there, on one of those right angle bends.
Regional Road Program, projects completed there last year were Banjo Patterson out near Brookvale, Cargo Road with a section in Cargo itself, and Mangle at some heavy patching works out there. Local roads, we did heavy patching or reconstruction on a section Spring Hill Road from Cowrigga Road to the boundary, which was basically full rehab, culvert work and some drain cleaning, and Carradron Road heavy patching of various sections along Carradron Road. State roads, the usual heavy patching program was commenced a bit later than usual last financial year. It was only January when we got approval to kick in for that. The four state roads, Escort Way, Peabody Road, Henry Parks and Canowta Road, there was numerous sections of heavy patching undertaken along those. Our initial works planned, when we put that together, is usually September or October each year, and we had heavy patches identified. When we actually got out there, some of those patches had to be extended and also kind of work. In saying that, then there'll be more work out there again now, but that'll be identified for next year's program. There's also a section out near Travis Lane on Canowta Road where the shoulder had been damaged, which we've done some repairs to. A lot of water coming down there out of a paddock. Resealing on the state roads, on the same four state roads was undertaken as part of the RMCC works. Routine maintenance, undertaking usual pothole patching, guidepost signs. We did have some funds allocated in the financial year. We did some drainage works on the Peabody Road down the other end, and a culvert which had sealed it up on Escort Way, the side of Mousehole Lane. So that worked.
That is big, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
That's huge. Made those men look small.
That's actually a steel corrugated pipe. There was some concerns about the integrity of that, and a bit of rust in the bottom after we cleared it out, but we'll monitor that and keep that on transport files as radar for whether that needs any more repairs to it.
So, excuse
Sure.
me through you, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
you are.
What's around the outside of that corrugated iron? Is it concrete all the way around the outside of it or not? Or is it's just a corrugated iron tube?
Yep.
It doesn't seem like enough.
Through the chair, Lee, what's actually factory in over close by recently used to manufacture those many years ago, whether those all come out, I don't know. But generally they're just a steel corrugated pipe. It's a fairly heavy gauge steel, not like
Not like the
roof
roof,
line,
okay,
and
yeah.
they're all galvanised and treated.
Mhm.
They do go in and probably after 25, 30 years, you've really got to have a look at them to see what state they're in. A lot of times that they're pretty sturdy and hold together.
And it's just sort of soil and gravel,
Yeah,
just
just-
packed around it and up to the
Yeah,
road.
compacted around it, the usual way with road-based material. You probably see a lot of them on the railways, use a lot of them for culverts.
Yes. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mark, through the state roads there, I was just coming home from mine yesterday that, you know where you've got the overtaking lane just before the 80, going up that hill? There's a overtaking lane from Orange.
Yes.
There's a big bump in there, again. I know it's been fixed not long ago, but it's got a big bump in there that's pretty dangerous for small cars. You have to go out around it.
Oh, that's in the climbing lane.
Yeah.
In the
In the-
3 lanes?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, in the lane that, you know, where you get over onto the left,
Yes.
in that road, in that one, yeah,
Yeah. I know that one.
yeah,
Make note of
yeah, thank you.
that. Moving on to natural disaster funding, at the end of June, the Shire roads have been repaired under the initial program. There's 4 culverts and causal bridge repairs there, Pinecliff, Nora Creek, Coach Creek and Yalundri have all been completed. We just recently there's a bit of pavement work on Nora Creek that had to be done, so we've just recently done that one. Next one there was Peak Hill Road upgrade. Our Rossi project is coming along, albeit wet weather has slowed things down a little bit in recent times, and a little bit muddy on the surface out there, but they're progressing on the first stage there.
And the state government re-announced the re-announcement of the 12 million. Did you see that?
Okay.
No,
Matt can tell you about it.
Double up points.
Nothing surprises me.
Okay.
Nothing surprises me really.
There's masks and everything, so
Oh.
it's one car that infected the town.
work's going well with Monash Construction.
Yeah, we're going to keep on them.
Yeah,
They're progressing, and we'll keep pushing along. So the wet weather's unfortunately delayed things in their progress a bit, but that was to be expected.
yeah, it was fairly wet, wasn't it, for a while there?
We had
Good thing. Good thing.
through, when we had that storm wind a couple of weeks ago, there's 2 of the crossings actually went underwater that are proposed to be upgraded, so yeah, once we put the culverts in, then that'll improve them. It probably didn't go over in a great extent, but it was all we go over, so the new culverts will improve those areas.
Just a quick question. I'm looking at that photo, great photo. This seems to suggest that the road is actually closed while you're doing the work. Is it closed, or were you actually allowing
They've
traffic
got
through?
traffic control, yeah, and they'll be communication, not that there's a great deal of traffic, but yeah, they communicate with their guys on the site and
And letting cars through that.
the traffic comes through, so it's monitored all the time.
Right.
Okay, the RTRF betterment works, this is our first part of the bridges that we've got Edward Street, access to Dean Park and Cargo Road Bridge, Ophir Road and the Mildred footbridge are part of that betterment works. There will be a report going to council in July to award contracts for, there's 4 bridges that went out, Baghdad in the Edward Street access, and the Manildra footpath and the Cadell footpath swimming bridge went out to tender. The reports will go to the July council meeting for recommendation on those ones. So, expectations are that once they're awarded, then the contractors will be able to get into them and they give us a deadline of looking at May next year to be completed on those 4 projects. So.
A couple of those over.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
we
it.
got to get it done, yeah.
Quick question through you, Madam Chair. In terms of those tenders, the uncertainty around fuel and rising, is that impacting on the tender prices at all that you're seeing?
These ones didn't seem to be too much of an impact on them. They're probably taken into account that when they priced them.
Yep.
Going back to High Nash with Peak Hill, we have had to put in some variations due to fuel increases.
Because of the length of the project.
Yeah, because when the fuel spiked there a while ago, Heinisch put in a variation for costs for some extra additional fuel costs. Don't know how it's going to pan out with these ones. These bridges will be more so specific sites, whereas Peterborough Road is 16 kilometres and they had to cart stuff a long way to materials to get there, so obviously more fuel being used. But anyway, we'll monitor these guys, how they go. Culverts and causeway portions there, bit of an update. Not a great deal has changed since last reporting, although the contractor's completed the causeway on Kent Road and two on Kangarooby that have been got concrete decks put onto them, and just in the final stages. They've got to seal the approaches on one of them, and the same on Kent Road. So
That's a really good idea.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
so they're moving along.
So they're designed to, if it is a sort of record level flood, it's just going to go
Should
straight
go
over the top.
over the
Won't
top,
be,
yep.
It won't affect it. It'll just go over the top for a short time and then
Hopefully,
back to normal.
and
Brilliant.
touch wood, doesn't do any more damage, but a flood event. No,
It'll do what it does.
you get a big log or something washed down and sitting in front of the culverts and the amount of water that can't get over the top.
How did you go with Pigby Lane with that tree?
I'm not sure whether they've removed it yet, but it was
Didn't just do it or anything?
it didn't impact too much. It damaged a bit of guardrail, which we can easily fix up, but yeah, there's a fair power of water coming down there, and the tree possibly slowed it down a bit. I did make a smart comment on the our team's chat that wonder how the fish are getting through it.
Big pebble.
Yes, because if you recall, we had some issues with fisheries on that one. Other works, we've got some designs underway on several of the other projects there, Dry Creek, a couple of them, Riddell Street, just determine some culvert sizes and things before we finalise them and move on. All these projects, we have a deadline of June 30 next year, but the funding body is pushing us to have things sort of stitched up by end of March, April. We're pushing things along.
It's a lot of work.
They require themselves 6 to 8 weeks so they can tidy up their paperwork. Anyway.
Same opportunities, you mean?
Anyway, well, we're moving along.
Cynical about it.
I know you're a big cynical.
Item 9 there was our disaster recovery DFA projects. We had some additional funding back in 24 allocated to numerous roads along there. They've been completed on Marsden Street, Dyke Street, Kent Street, Belgravia, Bing and Isley, and we did a fair bit on Cargo Road under the assistance there. We've still got a few of those projects to finish off, and again we've got till next year to finish them. We'll sort of program them into this year's work schedule to knock those projects off. The advancing upgrades to Bond priority roads, which we've talked about numerous times, have been Lake Canobolas and Yumble Road. Lake Canobolas, our designs come back there and it's fairly expensive what the ultimate design was. Following that, we've done an internal assessment of Lake Canobolas Road with an option of just rehabbing the existing pavement, which has come in a lot cheaper. And we've also made a presentation for grant funding there, and then presented to the Minister there a couple of weeks ago for $12 million just to upgrade the existing pavement on there. Ultimately, if we wish to pursue the ultimate one where we're going to need some land acquisitions and things, we'll have to start moving on that. There will be, we're proposing to put some funding towards Lake Canobolas this year out of our roads to recovery projects to do some immediate pavement repairs during the next 26-27. And as it was presented to the National Community Association, the Unlike Matt and myself, the options for Lake Canobolas Road, and yeah, we pointed out those 3 options there. So, yeah, so that was.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'd just like to, glad you mentioned that. This is just more to formally thank these guys for, so Matt and Mark coming out to Nashdale Committee the other night, Tuesday night, which went down very well. But certainly there were a lot of people there at the meeting wanting to know about where we're up to with that road. Particularly, there's a lot of interest in that road, and I thought it went down very well. So thank you for that.
I was just pretty chair just going to ask what the feeling was from the Nashdale community on the 100 k's or 80 k's or
On that
the
section,
road
that
works?
section of road, they actually wanted it to go from 80 down to 70, and it's now it's currently 70. The design for this section of road is going to be for 80, slightly above that, but it'll be 70. And yeah, most of the people there would be happy to have Cargo Road as 100 all the way, but they're never going to get that. And for all of the side roads to be probably 60. And so yeah, they're quite happy for the side roads to be, at lower rate, but the main road to be higher.
I'm not a resident, but why would you want it above 70? You don't want to drive there and see how beautiful the countryside is.
That's
You don't want to be
the whole point. Most people are driving up through there at low speeds anyway, because they're tourists.
Push blokes.
And there's bikes, and there's, and in fact, Lake Canobolas Road, you couldn't go any faster at the moment because it's too terrible. But that's the difficulty when you do. You guys would have this problem all the time. But when you do a nice bit of new road, new pavement, everyone wants to go along at the highest possible speed along. So you're gonna make it at 80k standard. People are going to want to go up that road at 100 k's an hour. But anyway, it's just human nature, I guess.
They might get hammered by the.
Bit of revenue, mate.
Well, it might be worth having the highway patrol over for the few months after that work is completed. Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
That's good feedback. We were elected by the people.
Indeed. No, look, they're happy now, particularly the Nashdale group. They can see that there's something actually happening.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
which is good.
We need safe roads, that's right.
Gundle Road was the other one that we had a survey and design done on, and we've got some the consultants come up with a design for that, which is going to be $27.7 million to fully upgrade the whole lot. Again, as the other project that potentially we can see whether future we wish to just look at pavement rehab and on the existing, whether that's probably won't serve the purpose of having it fully open for fire most trucks and things. Okay, moving on to the 26-27 transport proposed works. Our program this year looks at local road construction, patching works. Gundog Road, there's various sections on Gundog Road. 4 Mile Creek Road, there's various sections out there that need some rehab works done. Rod Street in Canoundra between Ferguson and Charlotte Streets, pretty rough sort of section of road down there, it's uneven up. And Broken Shaft Close, various sections out there are identified that come as a result of the community consultation meetings that they mentioned that, and following on from that, we look at these roads in terms of our condition assessments of them and just work out where they relate to what we've got in our road condition assessments and how they potholes and roughness index and things on it.
Through the chair? I know
Yes,
it's
sorry.
probably not the forum to ask, but has anyone ever driven on the road from Clyburn Street across Wednes Lane out towards the sewer works in Canoundra? Because I'm sure that is the worst road in Cabot. I doubt 200 metre stretch there in front of the mill,
What mill is it?
the produce mill,
Oh, yeah.
and Country Energy and that whole corner.
There's a
The
proposal,
corner there, where this is around the back of the railway line. There's a railway line going through there, and it's on the other side of the railway line from
That
from the museum. So that whole intersection there, that whole
Yeah.
so going around the corner and then
Just give
yeah,
us
you're right.
a
That's
down while we go.
that whole you're right. That whole intersection's always been bad.
someone should mention that through the chair. Proposed works for 27, 28, project briefs together just recently. That is one of the ones that has been identified in that.
Oh, thank you.
Works, so that's 27, 28.
You got to wait another whole extra year.
The way it's going, it won't take long.
Yeah.
With these, as we've noted previously, that we projects we do look at our condition assessments for them and which sections need the worst, and then we prove them by visually looking at what the conditions of the road are and feedback we've had. At Broken Shaft Close Road was identified in the community meetings
Where's it at?
off Ophir Road.
Oh,
There's a little sort of a loop out there.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's a loop, but oh yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like a closed loop, isn't it? It sort of comes.
Yeah,
Like you go out and then you do a big loop around.
You can't actually link up the top end because it goes into a fire trail.
That's right.
Top section of it.
Yeah. No, it's not good.
So those ones have been identified. Replacing culverts, there's 5 locations of culverts on Yellow Box Road where it's been noted that they're silted up and potentially need replacement.
Hopefully with something bigger.
I will look at the design on and see what's
Yeah.
required there. There was the sealing the access to the Molon Showground on the regional road.
Is that internal?
Yeah.
Yes, from the gateway up to the.
Most of the traffic's going to be the hockey players and some golfers, obviously.
Pretty much, it was a undertaking given to the users of the showground, including the golf club, that part of the new hockey field up there was that the road would be upgraded to accommodate the additional traffic. So it's not part of the funding grant for the project, hence why it's in this year's roads program, but it's been an undertaking that's been given as part of the negotiations for that project.
I'm not actually being funny here, like seriously, sometimes on places like that, I know like the counter sport table, you don't want the roads too tidy because people just, actually, the potholes work as a speed bump. Anyway, there's an agreement, there's an agreement.
You know, but
Yeah.
I think that was very muddy when I went up there.
Yeah. No, good. That's it. I went up there the other week. That's really good up there with the hockey
It's going to
fields.
be a great spot.
I'll note that suggestion about designing some potholes.
ripple strips or something. Ripple strips.
Regional road construction this year proposed Cargo Road, there's some more sections out there for paving to be rehabbed. Banjo Patterson Way, there's a 1.3 kilometre section near Geelong from Geelong Road to Neville's Road that has been identified to needs some repairs. Again, again that's been identified through our inspection and RACs and reflect reporting.
Is that funded through you, Madam Chair? Is that funded?
Funded.
Yeah, that banjo passes. That is money there, is it?
That'll be done under the block grant. As you're aware, each year we do some works under the block grant on regional. Last year we did the section out near Brookvale, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
Our gravel resheeting projects for this year, Cage Creek, Cobra, Barrigan, Tugong in the south area. North area we had Nora Creek, Cobra, another section, Burradong, Hunter Caldwell, Finch and Ugura.
Uruga.
And the east area, Kalula, Stagecoach, Bing and Lower Lewis Ponds. Lower Lewis Ponds was identified last year, but we didn't have any funding or opportunity to get out there and do some work on that one. So
Which part of Lower Lewis Pond?
I've got an idea there's about 2 kilometres of it, and we'll probably look at doing the worst of it. Again, we'll look back at our Arrakis and reflect information, pick the worst sections to be done.
I've had heard about the Copper Road too, so I'm pleased that's in there.
Yeah. The guys, while I have no time period in those, at this stage, I think the guys were going to do some work in the south area this week, which was brought on because of the rain we had a couple of weeks ago to jump a bit quicker onto it. I was expecting a little, not until August to get into going a bit quicker.
I'm sorry. Hard to get to and from, I think, at the moment.
Just having a sing-along.
So that's the end of those 26, 27 groups. So the next item through the chair is our maintenance report. At the March Infrastructure Committee meeting, we presented some graphs and things showing what our road inspection information can provide to us. So now I've done the end of 25-26. Noting is around 5,000 defects were accomplished last year. That's potholes, maintenance grading, guideposts, etc. Maintenance grading is noted as a one accomplishment for a road, not various sections. And pothole patching can be recorded as if there's a section as big as this table and there's numerous little ones in it. They don't go and count every one. They just record it as one item. So the charts there sort of give a bit of an indication of what we've got there. Reflect accomplishments, they're actually split into the north, east and south areas. Just gives a bit of an idea what's happening around various parts of the Shire. Our maintenance grading for the year, if you can actually see that, I think it was 430 kilometres of maintenance grading that we did last financial year, and that would be on top of where we did gravel reshedding and things. So.
That's great.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, potholes. 3,006. Yeah, potholes. Again, it could be more than that because of the location. But they've noted on reflectors, this is a section's got potholes, so you won't patch them, and that's accomplished as one area. While that we could do it the other way and record everyone, give us a better, higher result. It's probably not practical in terms of where we're going. So moving forward with these inspections, we're looking at better planning our maintenance moving forward for gravel roads, and especially where they might deteriorate, and when we come up to a gravel road maintenance, instead of perhaps doing the whole length of the road maintenance, identify that there's only various, these are the worst sections along that road that need to be maintenance. So any questions on the graphs there that we've got? We do have an intervention level there, and it notes overdue points that haven't been addressed. On a monthly basis, we look at those and try to go back and look over the ones that are sort of outside the intervention level. If something's noted and it's a real high priority, then we need to jump out and rectify those as a matter of urgency. So.
I'd like to just comment, if I could, I spoke to the Deputy General Manager about this. This is no reflection on the staff or all, but doing a terrific job as per the reports, amount of work and grading, gravel reshedding they've done, it's amazing. But it's more a reflection of probably our future and our budgeting. I've spent the last 2 weeks on a lot of the gravel roads in our area, and because of the weather, as you just indicated before, they have deteriorated big time. A lot of them are in poor condition. months because they have really deteriorated, surprising this weather period that we've had and how much damage it's done to the road. It's quite amazing. And as I said, no reflection on the staff and the job that they've done. I guess it's probably going to come down to our finances really about how much we can put into a new future budget to try and do those repairs.
You know, I reckon one of the worst things with the gravel roads, four-wheel drive vehicles. Because if you stop and think about years ago, when it rained and people would stay off the road, now all they do is stick it in four-wheel drive and tears the road up,
Just go straight through.
especially on a sloping road. Just, they're a nightmare in my view.
Do you own a four-wheel drive?
I do.
Ah.
I try and stay off the road if I can. There's only one road that doesn't.
Phone calls have started with me up the road, but I've told them to go through the front door first before they come to me, as in put the service request into you. That's Lockwood Road. Everyone that lives on Lockwood Road rang me. Said if he's rang the council first.
The ones that were talking to me about the Copper Road, they've lived out there for years, so they know it's the weather thing. But it makes it hard for them to get to and fro, I suppose.
Madam Chair, I made some commentary with regards to the Mayor's comments, unless you did speak to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Heard some audibles from councillors with regards to 3,600 potholes being filled throughout the year. We heard from Ben Lawson, who helped us develop our strategic asset management plan, that we are under-investing in our bitumen resealing. That is a direct correlation to that under-investment, in that to have less potholes you need to have a surface which is waterproofed, and if we aren't achieving that, then that allows the water ingress to get in and that causes the potholes. So we're investing $1.2 million at the moment in our resealing, and we're short about $600,000 to $700,000 a year on where we should be to meet our asset renewal requirements. So if we put it into perspective, that there's a very real reality if we don't address that shortfall in funding, that 3,600 will be more year
It's
on
over
year.
a third.
As we think.
Isn't
And it's a similar story with our gravel road resheeting as well. We know we're around the $300,000 short per annum on that also. So that has a perpetual effect. Those numbers will keep on getting larger and larger until we do find a way to match that. And we'll continue to work on our quality and our effectiveness in delivering the works. But there's only so much that we can improve and not breach that gap anymore. So there is some serious conversations with the community going forward around our sustainability of our roadworks.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Just push all down. We're all depressed now. Right, so we move on to item 5.
Yep.
The tender process for Canterbury Road. Committee note the tender process. Department note.
Oh, if you can put it up there.
Whilst we are preparing the presentation, Madam Chair, if I may,
We do.
this will be the department leader of the Cleveland Depot's last committee meeting.
Oh,
Nothing is said.
so retirement is there?
Yeah, I finished on Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm
Thank you
glad,
very
but I'm
much.
sad. So yeah,
Thank you very much for all your years
A
of
little bit of no,
hard work and.
This Friday coming, or last Friday?
this Friday.
Friday coming. You're going to say, what are you doing here?
Love the place.
Very nice. So you've got a trip away planned?
No, not really. We've got to go to Brisbane for my son's wedding next week, so that's,
He's got a working life,
yeah.
This wouldn't stop me.
Oh dear.
Oh, attending daycare.
Congratulations on your retirement.
That's recorded.
Keep being recorded, mate.
Well, you weren't listening to that when you
Yeah,
laughed.
she was. I'm going to tell them.
No, I always come away with
Okay, so through the chair, we just, because we're getting a new department leader, I just thought I'd just formalise the process, and Matt thought it'd be a good idea to present it to council. Councillors, okay, like we've got $4.5 million in the fleet in the plant budget this year, and it'd be a good idea to give you councillors a bit of an idea of how we do actually go about the tender process. So we've got here like $4.5 million this year for our plant replacement program. The light commercial vehicles is around about that 400. Our light commercial vehicles are our work ute, so we've got a few different configurations, so that's what changes a little bit, whether we just get single cabs, dual cabs or extra cabs. It just depends a little bit on the price there. Leasebacks and office cars are around about that 900,000. Major plant is, depending on what we are replacing, is between $3 and $4 million per year as well. And that's in coordination with our 10-year replacement program, which I have presented before, which is a live document. We have the ability to be able to change that at any time. If we've got plant that's showing a little bit of sign of ageing, or it's causing a few dramas with maintenance wise, we've got the ability to be able to sell it a little bit earlier, replace it a bit earlier, or to carry it on a little bit further down the track. Our heavy plant requires a fairly comprehensive tender appraisal report, where our light commercials and our leaseback vehicles, they're virtually through state government contracts. We do some of our lighter trucks, our little 3-ton tippers as such. We do just use the local, state government tender process, but we do, normally we've got either Hino, Fuso or Isuzu, and we do normally get 3 quotes, or we get the quotes off the 3 of those, and we do have a little bit of a process of that as well. So I'll just go through the PowerPoint. I'm not sure whether you have this. I might just read off here because it's a little bit bigger for me. That photo is about 10 years old now, and it was taken down there just near Moyne nursing home, not far from where the old sale yards was. So we had a fair bit of gear there together. So I took a couple of photos. I don't think we've got a lot of that left now.
Full screen.
Sorry?
Yeah, full screen.
Yeah, full screen. So
MIT. No, that's the, down next to the slide bar on the left hand side. Yeah.
no, to the right, to the right, to the right. No, back. That one there. That's it.
Okay, as I said, our 10-year plant replacement programs are fairly comprehensive. That's it in the background there. I'm not that good at PowerPoint stuff, but it did not too bad. So as I said there earlier, we've had the ability to be able to change that around a bit, live document. We update every time. If we buy a grader, we just put the new purchase price and what we expect to get back for it. So every time we get the replacement, we go through this and enter it in there and change it around a little bit. It's an IPWA document, and it actually it goes through the process, and it's a pretty big formula that it works out, and it'll give us a replacement value in 10 years, in 10 years time. So we give that to finance, and down the bottom of it, it's got what we expect our plant replacement to be for the next 10 years. We sort of really work on probably 5 years, because 10 years is a little bit further down the track, but we do have the ability to be able to predict what we think it's going to be in 10 years' time. As I said earlier there, we have the ability to be able to reschedule stuff if we need to.
This is the arrow button.
Okay, so we've done the business case. We've presented that before. We do a business case now for every large planned item. We get that out of Synergysoft, which is council's financial system. I go through the figures for what it's earned the first 3 years of its life and the last 3 years of its life, and then it has a whole of life cost. I put that in just to see whether it's worth replacing. It's got a series of other questions and answers there. Once that's been done, I give a recommendation to the Deputy General Manager. It goes to the other managers if that plan item belongs to Urban Services or Transport. The department leader gets that document and reads my comments, and they put a comment in to say whether we replace that or not. And then we have a discussion with the DGMs and the other department leaders and decide whether we're going to replace it or not. So, so the recommendations of whether we replace it or not, and this is just prior to the budget, we're doing that at the moment, and that's all done before we go to the budget. Okay, so once we've decided what plant we're going to replace for the year, when the business cases have been done, we do the project brief, which is we do a major plant, the loose back, the light commercials, and minor plants, and we put a little budget there for a workshop like this as well. So after the project briefs have been endorsed, we assign it a plant number, and then we send it across to finance, and then finance give it a work order number. That's pretty much the document that we work with for the rest of the year. All the prices are on there, so the cost of the plant and what we expect to get back for it. And as you've probably seen before, we have another column down the bottom, the replacement cost, the residual we get back for it, and what council expects to have to fork out at the other end of it. So before we do a tender, we do a specification, which I've been doing it for 15, 16 years now. So it was a little bit hard in the first instance. We didn't really have any documents, but now we've got a series of documents. I think this is probably the second cycle that I've been through with the plant fleet. So we do have a document available for to be able to review it. All we've got to do is we just go through that and just make sure that the tender, the specifications suit the planned item that's required at the moment. So then we send it through to Emma, and Emma gives us the contract number, and it's logged into official records library. So Emma will send that back to us, and once that's been done, we'll be able to log it into vendor panel. Vendor panel, if you don't know, it's just a local government procurement portal that they use. It's a pretty easy document. When we first went to use it, it was a little bit daunting, but once you get into it, it's a very easy system to be able to go. So you've got to log into the system, enter the tender name. It's quite a process to get through it, but once you've got through it, it pretty much looks after itself. So that's just the process of what you've got to do and the steps at each level that you've got to do to go through the tender process. Once you've gone through there, just save it and post it, and it goes out to the amount of people that you selected in vendor panel itself. It's got a list of different truck bodies, truck manufacturers. You can go through vehicle manufacturers, plant manufacturers. You can go through, and you only have to pick 3 of the items. So you can pick Caterpillar, Volvo, or whatever. You only have to pick 3. We normally pick probably 4 or 5. It just depends on what type of vehicle we're getting. And those submissions go to that group of people that you've selected, and they send back through the tenders on the closing date. So that's what comes back once the tenders are closed. That comes back, and we download that full document, which is pages of when you finish, that's just a download of some of the documents. We ask for photos and a number of other things, previous owners, so if we have to go and ask a previous owner what their experience has been like, we can do that. We can do that as well. We don't tend to do it a lot because most of the gear that we've got, we've had experience with it. It's only something, I think the last one that we did was a little vacuum truck, which we didn't have a vacuum truck, so we just go out and find out somebody that's had one previously and just get their idea of whether it was a good purchase or not. Yep. So when we get the tender docs back, we do something like a cheat sheet. So we just put down anything that we've asked, and there are different specifications for different types of vehicles. Graders are probably a little bit different to that. So we go through, we send an item through in our tender docs that have got all of that listed down on the left-hand side there, and the tenderer have got to put in their specifications, and then we get the specification, put in that cheat sheet. So when our operators or our mechanic goes through, he can have a look to see the difference in the engine capacities to make sure that one engine's not bigger or smaller than the other, and like the engine ADR, which is the Australian design rule, whether they're Euro 5, Euro 6 or Tier 3, Tier 4 for mechanical type stuff. So we just make sure that we're reading the same document. So yeah. Well, we look for non-conformance issues, so if we ask for a vehicle that needs 300 horsepower, it's up for 280, that doesn't meet the tender spec. A lot of times we still will have a look at that bit of gear just to make sure, because as you know, engine horsepower's come down now, but they've got better torque curves, so we still probably will have a look at that. But it just depends on how we read this cheat sheet.
Just a quick question, if that's okay. Do you look at fuel economy at all?
Yeah. Yep.
And emissions?
Yep.
So is
Yes, we
that
do.
part of that equation?
Yeah. Yep. That comes out. And I'll show you the document just towards the end. I don't know whether I've got I think I have. We'll just go through all that. So the mechanical assessments, we've got a sheet, as I said there earlier. Each plan item has a different types of things that we look for. That's the mechanical assessment for this particular water truck. It looks at the brake, suspension, and the mechanic will give it an assessment out of 5, and then it's rated down the bottom, and the score out of that goes into the tally that I give to the council report, so that you can understand that we've gone through the process of evaluating it through the mechanics, and through the next one will be the operator. Is the same, that they have a few little different things that they do daily checks on, in and out of the cabin, how easy it is, what it's like to look out of the cabin, for a grader in particular, if you review how the cabin's not good. So they have sort of similar type of questions. So, and as I say, it's based on 1 to 5, 5 being the best and 1 being the worst score. And again, we give the tally towards the end there. That's the testimonial sheet that I was talking about there a little bit earlier. If we haven't got a particular item, we'll bring one of the nominated people on the form that the tenderer gives us, and we'll ask them those questions and rate them, and that'll go into the sheet that we send in the council report. Okay, so that's the assessment guide. You were just talking there a while ago about some of the stuff that we look at, and we do look at the emissions. And again, it just depends on the type of plant item. We change, some of that gets changed a little bit. You might have a little 1.5 tonne excavator or a 20 tonne excavator, so the fuel evaluation is a little bit different. So litres per hour is changed a little bit in that. But that's how we really get the assessment. So we evaluate every item through that through that weighting there. And then it goes into the council report. We've got a template which council has seen plenty of times now, and it's pretty well a standard document, and we give you the background scope and our assessment of what our operators and what our mechanics have told us, and then we give a recommendation based on that document. So that's the full document. And those weightings there are, from what I said there earlier, are from the mechanical assessment. That like the 4.85 there, operator assessment. That's broken down out of all of the score of a 4 or a 5. So yeah, there is a process, and we don't just pluck the figures out of the air. So. Okay, so once the tender's been completed, we've got a fair process that we've got to complete. So we've got to notify the tenderer once the tender's been finalised, and council have given them give permission to purchase that item. We get a confirmation letter sent to them to say that this is the tender document. We've got to send 2 other items with it. We ask them. We send out a council document through that they've got to sign, and they send us one that they have in the tender as well. So both those letters have got to go back with to the successful tenderer, and the council tender form has got to go through as well. So they're the documents. That's the letter that the Deputy General Manager signs. It's got the document, the new work order number on it. That's our council document that we have to send back, that we ask for in our tender document, and that's the tenderer's document that he sends through. So we have the 3 items there that they go through. So when we do get the plant item, we've got to update our systems as well. So we've got Synergy, which is our financial system. We've got to enter the plant number in it and all the relevant details of that. There's a bit of on-road, off-road stuff which we claim, diesel fuel rebate stuff, so that's got to be identified in there for the finance girls to be able to claim our fuel rebate discount. Ausfleet, which is our fleet management system, we've got to put the whole plant item details into that. That's a little bit for the workshop guys to be able to get some information off, and also put servicing data into that as well. Jigsaw, which is our fuel management system, we've got to enter the plant into that as well, and litres, fuel tank wise, how much fuel it can take, and then we've got E-Roads, which is our telematic system. We've only had E-Roads for a couple of years now, and we've got to upload that. So we have a few systems that we do have to put in. So at the closure of the contract, we've got to good receive the order and send that to the accounts for payment. Send the contract details through to Emma, where she updates the system in ORL. Project Control Group, which I'm not sure whether you know, we're Project Control Group, where we've got to tell them where we're up to with our projects for the year. We just have to identify that's been completed. Our council logos and stuff, we've got to get the sign writer to come and put all of that on before they go out. Council radios, UHFs and telematics have got to go in all, and then we finally commission the plant. After that's been done, we've just got to notify local government procurement, because we do get a bit of a discount through local government procurement. They normally send us the documentation to say, did this go ahead? or not, and what was this the purchase price? They get that off their own documents through vendor panel. So most of the stuff is just pretty much a tick and flick to say yes, we've done the contract and that's been completed. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. Yeah, that's really good.
Yes.
Do you get many alternatives? So have we got, say, a hire vendor because at different times we've got a tender and one's beat the other, or do we sort of, have we got all one fleet brand wise?
Mainly the light commercial stuff, like the smaller trucks are one brand. We've just got a couple of new passenger trucks, they'll be Fusos. It depends on what comes back through. With the tender stuff is we can only review what comes back in the tenders. They'll say that the operator assessments and the mechanical assessments and a lot of that other data that goes through goes into that table that I showed you, and it gives the number at the other end of it, whatever that number, the highest number.
That's the recommendation.
Yeah, that's the recommendation. Yeah.
Have we got, so we've got like Fuso, we've got Hino, we've got different
We
brands, or?
don't have a lot of Fusos at the moment. I think we're just about out of Hinos. We did have a couple of Hinos, but we're pretty much on Zuzu, the cheaper brand. Yeah, we got burnt with Fuso there a couple of years ago. So, plus Fuso changed hands a few times with trucks as well. West Island tomatoes are not a good mob to do with either. Yeah, that affects our business. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Everybody happy?
I'm happy.
Move that be accepted.
No?
We move that be accepted.
I'll second that.
Recommendation.
Thank
We should
you.
also,
Bounce and batten and
we should also, I think, formally thank Michael for his years of service.
Yes,
in the
please.
line. I mean, look at this sort of stuff, it's pretty efficient, pretty detailed. So,
yeah.
yeah, congratulations and thank you.
And through the chair, like you councillors make our job a little bit easier, having the confidence in us to be able to do our job. So I've been doing this for since 2009. We really haven't had any problems. Not too many questions come back. Whether that's in the detail that we give you, that's good enough. But the confidence you have in our staff is really good as well. So we thank you for that.
Well, I think, of course, the way you just presented that, that's why we're so confident in you, because that's just